Dead City Season 2 is here. Finally, we are here with episode 1, and we are excited to talk about it. Hello, welcome to TeamJVS. We do a lot of reviews over here, a lot of stuff over here. And I'm Busy Braun. Of course, I got my own little channel. Check it out, Busy Braun, where we do a bunch of reactions. On top of that, it's a lot of reactions to The Walking Dead. We got a bunch of reactions for the original show, Dead City, as well as episodes for Daryl Dixon. So go check that out. But diving into this, man, I'm really excited to talk about this. Considering it's been what, like 2 years since we last got this show. And one thing that's really kind of stood out to me is when we're getting spin-offs from shows, sometimes you don't always have high expectations. And I will say Walking Dead, a show that's lasted a long time, knowing that there was more shows, it's like, okay, like let's hope that it can carry the same steam. And for me, it's been doing that. And I think this episode kind of proves that even though we're expanding on the show and making more seasons, we've already got pretty sure greenlit for season 3. They're not gonna let us down. And this episode has really got me excited for what's to come, and also made me feel a little better about the way they kind of left things in the last season. Picking up, of course, diving straight into things, we're seeing where everyone is, and that's one thing that I kind of wanted to dive into. I didn't expect a reunion with Maggie and Negan right off the rip, but to see Negan kind of back in a cell, a little deja vu moment, of course, from when he was in Alexandria. But it was really interesting to see that, and kind of his state of mind. His even him, he has a way with words, even bonding with the guy that's watching his door, and of course having a little bit of a taste for cockroaches. I don't know me personally if I'll ever get to that point, but then again, I'm sure Negan said the same thing, and then he said a year later, now here he is. But I'm still really excited to see what they're gonna do, because we're here, of course, just having all these questions, knowing how crazy things are gonna get. We have one group going up against the rest, which I don't know. The team up could be crazy, might not be. I really don't know what they're doing, but to see the Crow, right, trying to organize all of these groups and having Negan front and center, and then for him to be the one to perform, if you will, is just hilarious, because it's like we know that he admires him, and we know that Negan's just a damn good performer, and to see him kind of be on that stage, for him to do what he does and to see it in action was definitely the highlight of this episode for me. Um, it felt like old Negan was back. It felt like prime peak Negan was back. I mean, season 7 type stuff. And anytime Jeffrey Dean Morgan pulls out a monologue, it's gonna be great. It's gonna be great to listen to, and it didn't disappoint me. It was a little dry at first. I believe it was Christos, right, that he was talking to, but as soon as someone started challenging him, that's when he kind of came out of his shell. It's one thing to just talk to a room of people, but when you have someone that's kind of heckling you or targeting you, it's a little more, one on one, a little more personal. So to see him kind of handling that was just really fun. And even the Dama was kind of watching from afar, really admiring it. And I think at this point, she's only kind of taken the Crow's word as oh, well, this is the guy to bring everyone together. Are we going to actually believe that? But this is the first time she's probably actually got to see everything in action. And on top of that, we got Lucille back, or a form of Lucille with. And it's electric, the bat can electrocute people now, which we already thought it was a problem before, but now bringing that into the mix, I think it's really creative. And I think with the point that we're at with The Walking Dead, where things are very, I feel like they just make up shit sometimes as they go. It's just really fun for them to get a little creative, and I love when they do that. I mean, I already like what they're doing with the using the walkers as a power source. Like that's super creative stuff. But on top of that, just getting even more fancy with the weapons is something that's pretty fun. It's fun to me. And I am really looking forward to the different types of walkers that we might get later on in this season. And the one thing that really got me excited was the way that the episode ended. We end up hearing all different types of roars that look like in Central Park, but then we get just one big monstrous roar, which was like, okay, this is gonna be something. So I mean, I'm really curious to see how that's gonna play out. We know that we're gonna end up in Central Park without a doubt. I mean, you don't pull out a piece of dialogue saying this is no man's land. Anyone that goes in there dies. Like we're going there 100%. And it's going to be really, really interesting to see how it kind of works out. I am really excited to dive into the different groups, and we have they said like what three primary groups, but I really would really hope that there's smaller groups scattered throughout the city, as we saw with Tommaso and his character, which again still keeps me up just thinking about that scene. I totally forgot about it and everything, but as soon as I started watching the show, I'm like, ugh. Because I remember when I was watching it, I'm like, that show was bothering me. Like, I mean, that scene was bothering me. Like, as the show was going on, and like a week after, I'm just kept thinking about it. I'm like, dude, like, this guy. Things didn't need to be that crazy, and it haunts me the way that everything went down. But what are you gonna do? Obviously Maggie being back, I love her. She's a badass, and both Ginny and Herschel being with her. But we see more of angry Herschel. You know, something that we saw before. But at the end of the day, him being rebellious and being angry, he's a teenager. I mean, that's just part of part of it. The same thing goes with Ginny. I'm really curious to see more of her, but for her to be the one to step up and be like, "Oh, I'm doing this with you, Maggie," um, obviously got me really aggravated because it's like at the end of the day, we are gonna constantly see Maggie kind of saving her. I really hope that they twist it to the point where Ginny kind of ends up being the one to save Maggie on multiple occasions because I just don't want to repeat. I don't want to just be frustrated by that. Um, but the conversation between her and Maggie, of course, we were bound to get that speech. The "You're not my mom. You're nothing to me." Like that always happens anytime we have like a person who takes in a kid that's not there. They always got to get that uncomfortable yelling thing, whatever, out of the way, and they did that here. But I don't know. They've done a really good job, kind of settling us in, and the fact that this season's longer than the last season makes that okay. Makes them taking their time on certain things a little more reasonable, if you will. When we have 6 episode series, it's just like as much as it's great to get everything handed to us and just so much story right off the rip, without any breaks. I do like sometimes it bothers me that it's so short, but like I said, the one thing that I do like is getting everything so straightforward and getting these stories just without them milking it, if you will. I'm trying to find the right words. But now that they're bouncing to 8 episodes, I feel like it does give them some breathing room, and I think 8 episodes might work. I think 8 to like 11 episodes is kind of like a really good kind of area. It can be longer, it can be shorter, depending on who's writing it. You know what I'm saying? It varies, but I feel like 8 to 11 is kind of that good little mixture. So I'm looking forward to seeing how they handle telling what they want to tell in the next bunch of episodes, and especially knowing we're getting season 3 does make things feel a little better. But I am really excited to see what they do because they started off pretty solid. But as of right now, I mean, like I said, them adding feel like I'm gonna butcher the name, Dashka Polanco, Dasha Polanco. Them adding her character, the actress to the mix is something that I thought was great. I mean, familiar with her with Orange is the New Black, but especially for me, it being in the Heights, one of my favorite musicals. It is my favorite musical. I'm gonna put it out there, but God, I love that movie, and anybody who is in there and I see in other movies, it gets me all excited. I'm like, oh, I know them, I know that face, So it's always great, but whether it's seeing more Jeffrey Dean Morgan, Lauren Cohen, it's gonna be great. We got to hear him talk about things at the uh, Dead City panel in New York Comic Con, which was great, and we're gonna be doing more things like that too. Just hearing what you guys have to say is a blast for me, and I look forward to having these conversations with you guys in the conversation. So make sure you talk to me about how you felt about this episode and how do you feel about the different factions, little different groups. We have one group that's kind of on their high horse, thinking that they're great for everyone, but at the same time we saw them hang a man. So I'm kind of a little curious on what you guys think about that. They also threw in another character, as we got, I believe his name is Benjamin, so that's going to be interesting to see how they kind of handle that. But I'm just curious, man. There's just so much going on, a lot to be excited for, and I think season 2, even though we're only 1 episode in, I think it's fun. I think we're off to a solid start, and I'm not I don't know. I have my expectations not too high, but at the same time, I am excited for what's to come. So that's where I'm gonna leave it. If you're new, hello, welcome. Again, Busy Brown. Like, subscribe, do what you can. Team JVS, make sure you're checking us out. Subscribing over here, doing what you can, helping us out. And yeah, I appreciate you guys. And I'll see you soon. Peace out.